It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. And let me say, welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we are on a mission. And our mission really is to inspire. Our mission is really to empower. But at the end of the day, it's to give you, the hardworking entrepreneur, all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big, you know what I'm about to say, big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this episode, we have the one and only LaQueda Ricks, who's in the building. And she'll be talking about how to land your dream job, even in this market. What's up, LaQueda? How are you today?
I am wonderful. How are you today? Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. When folks, as I always like to say, we'll get to your bio. They can read that. They'll check you out. They'll find you online. But the question has to be at the top of everybody's mind. Number one, why do people struggle to even get to the next level? Forget their dream job. I know it's a loaded question because there's different people out there, different careers, nonprofit, government, private sector. But just off the top of your head, why are folks struggling to get a promotion at work today? Forget their dream job. Like, what's holding them back today?
You know what? People are not going for it. People are scared to ask for what they want. We have a couple employees that wanted a promotion and they were scared to ask for it. And that's what we're finding now. People are just scared to go ask for what they want. They're scared to apply for it. They don't think that they deserve these jobs that they dream about, and they do.
Now you mentioned something that was important. You said they just don't go for it.
hmm
Let me ask another question a little differently. And I'm just curious. It might not be an answer. I'm just curious.
hmm
How does someone even know what a dream job is these days? I mean, that's probably. What's your definition for the person that's out there saying dream job? Heck, I don't even know myself. What's your definition of a dream job? That'll be pretty cool for us to
Okay.
understand, number one.
Okay.
And number two, maybe, how does a person know if it is a dream job that they should even be going after?
Okay. But you know what? That's a great answer. And most people don't know what the dream job is. So that's the first thing they have to do is define exactly what the job is going to look like in corporate America for them. They're going to consider factors such as the industry, the company size, the different roles, the location, the company culture that they're looking for. The more specific you are, the easier it is to target the efforts of looking for your dream job. And then you need to do a self assessment, evaluate your skills, your qualification, your strengths, your weaknesses, and identify those areas where you may need to improve or gain additional experience to be a strong candidate for your dream job that you're looking for. But you have to really start by defining exactly what it is that you're looking for.
Hmm. Define what you're looking for first. Got
hmm
that. And then
hmm
once you get the skills that you need to get there,
Yep.
understand that. And then you talk about even in today's market, right?
Yes.
Um, what is the market like these days? I mean, again, these are loaded questions, but you're all listening to an expert. She has her view of the world. And so we like
Okay.
to know, what is today's market? Because, you hear sometimes, oh, it's a buyer, not buyer, it's a market for employees. And so, everyone's getting the short stick. And then you hear, oh, no, it's a market for those folks that are looking for jobs. They're getting paid more than they should. And it's
hmm
kind of like, it's their fault and their fault. And so what is today's market for where we are in this
hmm
disposition in time? What's your view of the world on it? What type of market it is? And number two, how does someone navigate in this type of market?
You know what? It's a very competitive job market now. There's often stiff competition for dream job positions, especially in desirable industries or different roles. Many people are vying for the same job opportunities, making it harder for people to stand out. And we're also looking at the changing job landscape. The job market itself is continuously evolving due to technology advancement, automation, shift industries, and some dream jobs may be less attainable due to these changes.
Hmm. Okay, so you say it's a buyer's market. I guess it's not a buyer's market. It's not really an employer's market, and it's not really an employee's market. It is just is what it is. Is that what I'm
It is
hearing?
what it is.
Good. And tell us a little about who you are. They're hearing you go off and do all these things and check this out. And they're like, well, Jay, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I didn't have time to go read stuff. And she's here. So slow down
Right.
for a moment. But in all seriousness, tell them your backstory. And then what
Hmm.
was the defining moment that led you to doing what you're doing now, which is helping other folks
Hmm.
find their dream job, even in today's climate?
Well, yeah, it started over 24 years ago. I kind of got into HR by accident. I was started off as a computer science major, and I started working for a state agency in Louisiana. At that time, my aunt was over the HR department, and I was a college student looking for somewhere to work. While I was in college, and she was like, "Well, come work with me in HR." And I was like, what is HR? I don't even know what they do in there." And so she was like, "We handle all of the employee issues. Everything, you get to experience everybody in the agency." I was like, "Okay, well, I guess I can do that." And so I got into HR as a student worker, and that's where my love for HR began. And that's been almost 24 years ago. And so I've done almost every job in HR, but I specialize in career development, leadership development, training and development, and recruiting. So those are my favorite things to do. And what made me want to specialize in that is because I find that when people come to interviews, they don't know how to interview. And now I'm about to niche down because I've worked for the State Board of Nursing for over 10 years now. And when new nurses that are just graduating college, they have no interviewing skills. It's fresh for them. And so I am loving being able to help these new nurses in their career development, helping them um, kind of revamp their LinkedIn page or either create one, how to nail that interview. Because most people, it don't even have to be college students. A lot of people don't know how to interview properly. And so I love to see people come prepared to interviews. And so that's kind of where my love and my passion for helping people with career development is going, and where it started from.
Well, don't leave it hanging. We're all on the fence. Wait a minute. People are struggling with interviewing. I can't let it go by. She's got to share one, two, or three pieces of advice that you have for the person that's going in to be interviewed, by the way.
Mhm.
And it's a little shocking because I'm thinking, well, I think you could just go Google what are the best things to do in an interview. And it got to be 5 ways or 10 ways or 3 ways. I mean, how complicated can it be? Now, you're
Mhm.
talking to Shay
Mhm.
Brown, who has
Mhm.
not interviewed for a job in 20 years. I've been a full-time entrepreneur all the time,
Right.
full time. So
Mhm.
it's been a while, okay, since I finished Morgan State University. Shout out to all the HBCUs out there. And I got my
Mhm.
first job after college.
Mhm.
So I
Okay.
really don't know. I'm just the guy saying, how hard can it be? So do you mind taking a moment and for the person is like, yeah, what's one, two, or three things that I can do to prepare for the interview or do inside the interview that can help, not say give me the competitive edge, but put me in the best possible position to get the job?
I love it. Yes. So, when you come in for these interviews, um, come in knowing about the company that you're interviewing with. Know their mission, know their core values, because some of these questions that they're going to be answering, you can align your goals and your vision to match theirs. And that's going to look good when the hiring managers are sitting on the other side of the table and they see that you've taken the time to really get to know the company and know their core values and know their mission. That's one thing. Another thing is, and it's so funny, a friend of mine called me yesterday and he was like, "I'm about to go into an interview in like 30 minutes. And I remember you posted a video on how to answer the question, tell us about yourself." He said, "I just need a little backstory right quick." And I'll say, "Okay, perfect." I say, "This is going to be your elevator pitch. So you want to make sure that you are not giving them anything personal. We don't want to know about your children. We don't want to know about your husband or your wife or your grandparents. We don't want to know any of that. We want to know strictly about you. We want to know about your professional background, your accomplishments, the different skills that you have, and different skills that you've had that you can bring over into the job that you apply for. And so that's your time to shine. That's your time to talk about the different accolades and the different accomplishments that you've had in previous jobs and give us some examples. So I always tell people, come prepared for that. Tell us about yourself, because that's one of the first questions that we ask. Another thing is always have questions. Most people, when they go to interviews, and we're finishing the interview process, and we ask people, do you have any questions for us? And a lot of people say no, but you should always have questions. You want to show interest in this company. Follow up with a question like, tell us about the day-to-day process in this particular position. What does that look like? What goals, or what is your vision for this particular position? Different questions like that. You want to have create that conversation, and you want to put them in the hot seat. We like being put in the hot seat as well, and that just shows us that you're interested in this position, and you did your homework.
Wow, what do you enjoy most about what you're doing? Because you seem to get excitement. I can hear the passion in your voice, and so like what do you enjoy
You know
about
what?
this? By the way,
I was once one of those people that was fresh with interviewing, and
Mhm.
I just find that we have people that have amazing skills, or they have all these degrees, but they may not know how to interview. And
Mm.
sometimes that one little piece of the puzzle can stop them from getting the jobs that they want. So, it's all about preparation. And I love to be able to help people prepare for those jobs, and to also help you once you get those jobs, kind of look at, where do you want to be 5 years down the road? Let's do a career development and a career path to help you get there.
Earlier, you mentioned the importance of leadership. And
Hmm.
leadership means different things to different people, by the way. So, can
Hmm.
you share what is your view of the world on what is a leader, number
Hmm.
one, and
Hmm.
how that's important? Because it sounds like you got to be a leader of one before you're a leader of many. But what's your
Hmm.
definition of leadership? That's number one.
My definition of leadership is, I always, and I tell my team this all the time. You have to have people follow you. They have to be willing to follow you to be a leader.
Mhm.
It takes a lot to be a great leader. Um, no, I'm not gonna say it take a lot. It take um, it take you to have a servant's heart to be a leader. Everybody can't be a leader. And just because you're in leadership positions don't mean that you need to be there. And for me, and I'm just speaking for me, I think that you should have a servant's heart in order to be a leader, because you are responsible for you're responsible for a group of people. And you know, I always tell my staff, you may be starting here, but we're trying to get you there. And I never want to hold my staff hostage for being able to excel and grow in their career, regardless if it's going to be at our agency or it's going to be somewhere else. And as a leader, it's my responsibility to grow them to where they want to be.
You talk about growing them where they need to be. I think that's spot on. So for the
Mhm.
person that does lead a team and they're like, look, I'm trying to groom folks so that they have opportunities to
Mhm.
move on. And as a leader, what would you recommend that I'm able to do so I can help them from a team perspective? It's one thing
Mhm.
for them to work with them so the team gets results, but like, look, I want to see my folks grow. I want to see them prosper, whether they take my responsibility or go somewhere else. So here's the question: what do you say to the leaders? Because they're on the other side, right? By
Mhm.
the way,
Mhm.
um, that they can help prepare their team to have
Mhm.
opportunities that open up at the company or maybe outside the company, outside the industry.
Okay, so I always tell leaders to always remain a student. Just because you're a leader doesn't mean you stop growing. It doesn't mean you stop learning. And you always still want to listen to your team. A lot of people think because you're in leadership roles that you shouldn't be listening to your team, but that's a lie. Um, I always and I always go back to things that I'm used to and what I do. And sometimes I lead and sometimes I listen. And I have a very effective team like that. Sometimes they give me the best advice as far as how we're going to move our department ahead. And sometimes, I'm going to and sometimes I'm going to take that lead role. But we're a team, and the same things that they're doing, I'm out there doing as well. I don't just command them to do things. We do things together, and building that trust and that team is so very important.
And as you talk about that, can I hope it's not controversial, but can I flip the script? And on the
Hmm.
other side, as someone who wants more responsibility, let's say I'm the employee, and this is again, it's not a fictitious question, but I think it's probably reality. But
Hmm.
I'm the employee and I want more opportunities, but I want to be able to help try to, I don't know if the words use manage my manager. What are
Hmm.
some things that I can do as I go to my senior leadership team that can
Hmm.
help prepare me for additional opportunities so I can move up and get my dream job? And some folks think, oh, I got to wait for my manager to leave. And heck, they might be another 10, 15 years, right? But I want more responsibilities. I want an opportunity to be on more projects, and I want to grow my skills. So here's the
Hmm.
question specifically: how do I manage my manager? If I can say that.
Well, you know what? You can definitely manage your manager. When I knew that I wanted to move up, I literally went to my boss and I asked her for more roles. Like, what can I do to build my resume? I want a leadership position. What do I need to do to get to where you are? And I told her it may not be here or it may be when you retire, but how do I get where you're at? And, just that simple question, she took me under her wing and she was like, okay, well, here, she kept giving me different assignments, and I just kept learning and growing and learning and growing. And, she was like, okay, yeah, you're ready for leadership. And so I think that you have to take the initiative and and start asking for more duties. Just because you look at your position description and you see just the job that you're assigned to do doesn't mean that you're just doing that particular job. If you want
Mhm.
to learn more and you want to progress in your career, ask for more duties. And that's how you learn the industry that you're in. And that's the best advice I can give, is to ask for more duties and just get your feet wet. Don't be scared to do other duties as assigned.
I like that. We have a segment here at the Happy Entrepreneur Show called Today is My January 1st. Now, um,
Mhm.
for those folks that tune in every night, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you know what we're going about to do. You wait for this moment. I wait for this moment every day. Be able to say
Mhm.
those words that today, that's right, today is my January 1st. And I feel good. Happy New Year to you, by the way. And then for others, you're joining. This is your very, very first pack. You're listening saying,
Mhm.
what? Today is my January 1st. Well,
Mhm.
today is my January 1st. It represents our personal mantra at the Happy Entrepreneur Show. It's
Mhm.
it's a it's a do-over. It's a fresh start. It's an opportunity to take a look and understand that no matter what's happened in the past, it no longer equals the future. And so
Okay.
my question, as you're listening on the other side, is when you hear those words, today is my January 1st. What do you
Mhm.
hear? And what was one of your January 1st moments? What was a setback or challenge you had? And how did you bounce back from it?
Ooh, my January 1st moment. My January 1st moment was deciding that I am going to take all of the skills and knowledge that I've gained over the last 20 years and open my own HR staffing company. So I opened my own HR staffing company this year. And so that was my January 1st. I stepped into leadership, into, in my own firm, and I love it. I love it. So that was my January 1st.
Congratulations to you. That's kind of cool. And
Thank you.
how does it feel?
It feels amazing. I was scared at first, and
Hmm.
don't get me wrong, I still have my full time job, and I do
Hmm.
consulting and career development, in my firm as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I came into state government at the time where at 20 years you can retire at any age, and so I passed that that threshold 4 years ago, and so I was like, what is going to be my next career? And so I wanted to take all of this knowledge and do it my way, and so um, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing it my way.
Congratulations, man. That's super exciting. It's kind of fun, by the way, isn't it?
Yes, yes. It's
On
different
certain
because
days.
you're coming from corporate America, and everything now is going to follow me. My my success is determined by me and how hard I work and how bad I want it. And because I love what I do and because I love being able to serve others, I think I'm going to do amazing in it.
Of course you will. I mean, we have no other expectations that not only will you do amazing, but the impact that you're going to have, by the way, is going to be incredible. One of our favorite questions to ask here at the Happy Entrepreneur Show, and I love it, it's one of my favorite, which is
Hmm.
what's one of the best pieces of advice that you ever been given? And I always like to frame it and kind of say that you have an opportunity to have a lot of mentors along this journey of life, obviously. And
Hmm.
you could probably do a whole segment just on advice you've been given,
Absolutely.
but what's one of the best pieces of advice that you've been given that you hold near and dear to you? And for you, the viewer, you're part of our community. You're the one that tunes in and listen. This is the time where you lean all the way in
Right.
because you could get one idea,
Hmm.
one piece of advice that you could use for the rest of your life that could
Hmm.
benefit you. So take it away. What's the best piece of advice you've
The
ever been given?
the best piece of advice that I've been given, and I hear it all the time, is do it afraid. Sometimes we get so stagnant and we let fear punk us out of our purpose. And I've done that many times. And, I've had amazing coaches and mentors that, like LaQueda, get it together. You have the knowledge, you have the skills, just jump and do it afraid. If you fail, use that as a teachable moment. But we're not going to call it a failure, we're going to call it a teachable moment. So um, the best advice I've been given is do it afraid.
Hmm. What do you do for fun when you're not out there saving the world?
What I do for fun. So I like the young people say, I like to be outside. I like to, I like to go to dinner and
Yeah.
to brunch and, hang out with my friends, or I like to sit and watch Netflix and, catch up on some series. Really
Series.
simple.
Now I'm getting into it. My wife's into the series, but you got to tell me what's one of the series that you be binge watching on?
So I have gotten into The Shy. That's what I'm into right now. So I'm catching
Okay.
up on that, and that's what I've been binge watching.
Well, see, that's pretty cool. See, she's like everybody else. She be binge watching too. Okay,
Yes,
you're
yes,
not by
yes,
yourself. You're not by yourself. That's kind of cool. Well,
yes.
as we come down the home stretch, let me ask: what type of clients are you working with these days,
Hmm.
and how can folks best connect with you over and beyond this conversation that we're having in this moment?
Right. Okay. So I help. Well, like I say, I'm niching down, and
Yeah.
so I'm going to be helping nurses and advanced practice nurses with career development, leadership development, and also different hospitals and medical facilities doing leadership and training those leaders, especially those young leaders that don't necessarily have training programs, already in place to help them matriculate and begin that new career in leadership. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing, and I will also be opening my own nursing staffing agency within the next 2 years. So I'm really, really excited about that.
Congratulations to you. I'm looking forward to being part of the journey and
Thank
watching the
you.
impact and the change you have in the world. So thanks so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show.
Thank you so much.
And thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in. Without you, well, we don't have a show. So we appreciate you. As you got value out of this show, do us a favor. Just share it. Just hit the message and pay it forward. Pay it forward to someone else. We really appreciate that. And every night, I love to share these words that you, as you're watching right now, as you're listening right now, you're amazing. You're awesome. If no one's told you that already, you are a world changer and you're someone that's making a huge difference. And for you, today is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason, all you need is one, your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Oh, and that's so exciting. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things now. We connect again next time. God bless, and I wish you success. Good night, LaQueda. Thanks a lot.
Good night.
Peace, everybody. We out of here.